What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy, Sealz the Man. Thank you for coming back on another nighttime edition episode. It's been a while since I made one of these, right? Yeah, let's get back to it. On tonight, I'm going to talk about something of love and something of pain at the same time. Something that you ladies need to know truly and seriously about your man. If y'all didn't know, June is Men's Mental Health Month, which brings awareness to men that it's okay to not be okay. That it's okay to go out and get help. That those thoughts that we have every single day are a part of who we are. And that if we deem it necessary to be attended to talk to someone about it, to be helped on with it, then that's okay. As y'all know, I talk about in a lot of my videos when it comes to understanding men and how they think and how our minds work, is that a lot of us are not well adept in expressing ourselves or talking about the things that goes on in our heads. Even to our lady, even to our woman, our life partner, our loved one. And that sucks. Me telling y'all from the mind of a man, that's a sucky feeling. But on this month, we're going to bring awareness to that. And in this video, we're going to talk about the serious signs that your man needs help. That he needs a therapist, that he needs an outside assistance, that he needs a counselor, that he needs serious prayer, he needs help. And the scariest part of not knowing who's going through it is that you may not know because they seem so happy. They seem real good. They're giving you advice on things. But little do people know, the people that help the most are usually the ones that need help the most. Alright, but before I get started, make sure y'all subscribe to me. Hit that subscribe button below for more videos on understanding the mind of men and how men think. Like, comment, and tell me your comments in the section below, alright? So a couple weeks ago, or I would say 3 or 2 weeks ago, there was a golfer. His name was Grayson Murray. There was a tour going on, and he went out, he played his golf game, had a decent game, talked to everybody normally, or that was on the golf course, went back to his hotel room, and the next day he was found dead by suicide. None of those golfers or those people that was at that course knew that Grayson Murray was going through something so sad and depressing and scary that he felt like he needed to end his life. Maybe he felt like he had no one to talk to even though he was in a relationship. Maybe he felt like it couldn't be fixed. Maybe he didn't have God in his life. Maybe. But it is important to see the signs or detect the signs or to check on your man and to check his mental temperature, to put in that effort to see if he's truly okay. Because I've realized in my life and in the experiences and the friends I've lost is that the ones that had the biggest smile on the outside had an upside down smile on the inside. And that's unfortunate. So the first sign that your guy may need outside help, that he may need some kind of mental assistance or something, is that he always exhibits happiness. As I talked about earlier, people who show happiness the most are usually the ones who feel sadness the most. The thing with emotions are, there's super spikes in it. So you can feel super happy one day and feel super sad one day. If that is your personality trait, you are more prone to feel the heights and the lows of lows when it comes to emotions. Just because you see someone always happy and they exhibit high happiness, just remember that that same energy that they're feeling or that same energy that they put into their happiness can also be felt in their lows of lows. Super depression, super sadness. There's no middle ground for some people like that. And I've noticed that people who are super happy are usually lightning rods of good vibes, of good energy. And people want to be around people like that because it inspires them to be happy when they're going through their things. But being a lightning rod and being the center of happiness can drain you. When that person gets alone, when they're not surrounded by other people, they can feel drained because they've exuded so much energy to others that they may not take care of themselves. Emotions are energy and they can drain you, especially for those ones who are super happy all the time. So take that into consideration. If your man is super happy all the time, check on him. Make sure he's okay, because that can also be a cover-up. Another sign that your man needs help and that he's secretly going through things that he cannot handle himself is a man who brings up old things constantly, especially about the heartbreaks of his past. Now this is uber important for you as his woman, because a man like this has not healed from his past relationships. He has not healed from his past trauma. He has not healed from his past heartbreaks. And that can easily leak into your current relationship if it is not tended to. A man who constantly brings up old heartbreaks and old trauma, trust issues, disappointments, and brings that to you and into your relationship is a man who has not healed from those past things. Now, the reason why a man like this needs counseling or some kind of help, therapy, is because if he doesn't, eventually y'all gonna need together relationship therapy, couples therapy, because once again he will bring that old baggage, those old feelings of disappointment and hurt and stress into your current relationship. And now that old relationship that he had is now your problem, and you have nothing to do with it. A man cannot walk forward until he takes his feet out the mud. The next sign that your man needs help, therapy, counseling, is when he is showing signs of giving up, from little emissions to big emissions. When he's become lethargic, when he's become lazy, when he's become uninspired, especially if your man was not like that before. If you see this sudden shift into this new stage of laziness or not caring, that is a big sign that your man needs help. Because one thing I know about men, about decent men, just growing up under my uncles and my grandfather and learning from my mentors, is that men love doing. Men love doing for those who matter the most to him. That is an expression of love from men. So once you lose that want and that desire to do for his woman, to do for his children, to do for his loved ones, that means there is a shift in him. Something has caused a chain reaction to the point where he no longer wants to do those cherished and treasured things. One of the greatest highlights of being a man. Something's going on, something's wrong. When he goes from the prideful, strong, uplifting, eager, go-getter man that you always knew, when he goes from that to a man who seems like he doesn't care, he says, I don't know a lot. He's doing a lot less. He has less energy in the things he do, or he doesn't do anything at all. Take note of that. Something's wrong, because clearly he's not being himself. Clearly he's not being the man that you come to love. Another sign that your man needs help is if he struggles to hold jobs. One thing about a man is that he's going to have a job. He's going to work, and he takes pride in that. Whether it's using his hands or using his mind or using his mouth and speaking ability, he's going to use what he has to work, because we know working is how you get things in this life. That's what we love to do. Once you start to see your man struggle with keeping jobs, that means there is a disturbance in his mindset, his effort, and his desires. Because we know as a man, we have to work in order to provide for ours, in order to provide for our woman, our children, if that's applicable, our family. We know we have to work in order to get a result. We know we have to produce in order to bear fruit. That's just what we know. So when he starts to struggle in keeping the thing that produces those results, when he struggles with holding the sources that creates wealth and the necessities for his loved ones, then that is a clear sign of disturbance. Something is going on with that. Because one thing about us is that we do not play with our money. We do not play with the things that enriches our lives, especially when others are involved, like our lady. Another sign that your man needs help, something's going on, is when he has social withdrawal from you and the family, especially the kids. When he seems to disappear, go away or fade away when he's at home, when it seems like he's not present, when it seems like it's always something on his mind. You can be having a conversation with him and it seems like he's in another universe. He's not being present with you. He's disappearing for a good amount of times. He's making excuses not to be around you. He could be doing these things because he is going through a storm, a mental storm, a spiritual storm. He may be fighting demons, fighting something on the inside, and he doesn't know how to handle it. He doesn't want to put this stress or whatever he's going through, this disturbance, on you, so he's withdrawing from you. He's not as close anymore. He's not as touchy anymore. That could be a lot of things. Could be fear, anxiety. It could be so many things. But clearly, one thing that is evident is that he needs help. He needs help fighting whatever he's fighting. He needs to find a way to get out of that. Another sign, now this is one you can pick up easily, especially after a while of talking to him, is that he begins to talk about finality a lot more. He begins to talk about the end a lot more. Sometimes to the point where his conversations turn morbid. Now this is important to notice, and I feel like it's easy to notice, because anytime you talk about those type of things, it brings a different energy to the conversation. I know for me personally, when someone starts to talk about morbid things or starts to talk about finality or the end, especially when it's random, like we're not already talking about that, you just come out the woodworks and just start talking about things like that, it changes the whole mood of the conversation. Now I start to get worried. Now I'm looking at you differently. Now I'm asking you like, yo, is everything okay? Because I know when you start to talk about things like that, it's almost as if you're preparing for that specific thing. Especially if we're just having a regular conversation. So if you notice, he starts to talk about the end a lot or a lot more. He might just need help, because that may mean he's getting closer to exactly what he's talking about. That may mean he's giving up. That may mean he's trying to give you a warning without actually saying it. Because one thing about us is that we love our woman. Decent men, good men. We love our woman. We talk about the future because we want you in it. We plan for the future because you are part of our plan. We want to be a part of that. So if I suddenly start talking about the end a lot more. That cuts you out. Because when you talk about the end, you are excluding everything. And it's just you and the end. That is what you're focused on right now. Because you clearly can't be focused on your woman if you're talking about something that's going to end. Because when you talk about your woman, you're talking about love. You're talking about something that grows. You're talking about something that is exponential. You're talking about something that doesn't stop. But when it comes to the end, that's a stop. There is no more. That's a cease. That is a halt. So definitely take note of your man if he starts to talk about the end a lot more. Finality. Now, I gave you all the signs that your man may need help, but I do not like talking about things like this without at least giving some type of solution or solutions. I'll be listing some things down in my description box below. If you don't know what to do, if you notice these things in your man, that may hopefully help just to give some kind of options for y'all, right? You know, life is hard. I've gone through my mental battles and honestly, I'm still going through some things. But for me, personally, I've gotten so much better because of the presence of God in my life. I hope to continue to grow that peace in my life, to continue to fight and win those battles that I'm going through. And I'm praying the same for you and your man. Happy Men's Health Month. Make sure y'all take care of yourselves in every aspect. Love y'all, and I will see y'all in my next video. Peace and blessings. Goodbye.